Hey everybody, Maddox here. Welcome back to the Pokehistorian. Today we're doing my top 10 Crown Zenith cards. At this point, Crown Zenith is over. You won't be seeing any more products on shelves unless they're leftover products from a long time ago. But of course, at this point, we're not really seeing much on store shelves at all. So I thought it'd be a good time to look back at this set, which is probably, in my opinion, artwork-wise, the best Pokemon set we have ever had. And look at the top 10 cards, at least in my opinion, from this set. Starting with number 10, we have the Kricketune here. So, full disclaimer, I actually can't stand Kricketune. I don't like this Pokemon. I really don't like the sound it makes in the game. I find it kind of creepy and kind of annoying. But that being said, this artwork is phenomenal, and there's just so much going on here. I mean, look at all these different Pokemon. You have Wooloo, you have Shroomish, you have Bunnyary, all these different Pokemon. You got a Molga flying through the sky. You got a Rufflet up here. I mean, gosh, just so much. Oh, and then you got a Snom down here too, and Lotad's hanging out in this pond. I always love these Pokemon cards that have a bunch of different Pokemon on them like this. It just really kind of captures what you think the Pokemon world looks like. So that's why this card is on my top 10 list, even though I don't like this guy that much. Still a beautiful card. Next up, we got number 9. We have the Keldeo. Another Pokemon that I'm not super crazy about. I think he's cool enough, but I just don't really know that much about him. But I will say here, this card is just beautiful. I mean, you got the Aurora Borealis up here, you got the night sky, all these magical colors. It looks like the Pokemon is running across the water there. I'm always a sucker for rainbow effects, and this card's just got it all going on. So, Keldeo, I don't know much about you. Maybe one day I'll know more, but for right now, you make my number 9 slot. Now we're moving on to number 8. We have Regigigas V-Star. So I like this card a lot because I like how it looks very hand-drawn and everything. It also captures like the legend of Regigigas, which is that it like moved continents and stuff. So here you have Regigigas. It looks like he's carrying like an entire landmass on his back, just like the legend about him foretells. So that's kind of cool. It's very kind of ethereal background with lots of different pieces of land just kind of hanging out there in the sky. It looks like it's just kind of in the aether and he's walking through the ocean. So just a very kind of cool card to see there. Beautiful. Moving on to number 7. We have the Magnezone. Magnezone's not a card, or a Pokemon I should say, that we see all that much. So it's good to see it here and hanging out. And it looks like it's in some sort of like space factory. I'm not exactly sure what it's making. It seems to be making some sort of triangle. I wonder if maybe that has something to do with Deoxys, because Deoxys had like that weird triangle thing that was associated with it. So like maybe this is like a factory where Deoxys was made. Who knows? And you got Magneton down here. You got some Magnemites hanging out. I love the colors. All these space-like cards like this are really cool to me. Next up, we got number 6. Speaking of Deoxys, we have him beaming down right here. So I like this card. I like this giant Saturn-looking planet in the background. He's beaming down to Earth. And of course, you got an Orbeetle up here, which even looks like a UFO. So that's pretty neat. It's an Orbeetle VMAX, I think. So pretty cool to see, beautiful colors. And, this is probably my least favorite form of Deoxys, but it just works here because it makes him look like a spaceman. Great representation. Moving on to number 5. Yeah, if this is only at the 5 slot, it makes you wonder what's coming up, right? We have Mewtwo V-Star. So, I mean, this is a really cool action shot. A lot going on here. We got Mewtwo battling Charizard. Looks like he's using Shadow Ball or something. That's pretty neat. In the background there, you can see a Tangrowth getting blown away. Lots of the landscapes being torn up. And, of course, this goes with the Charizard card, which shows the same battle from Charizard's point of view, which you could get in that Charizard Ultra Premium collection. Really cool card. Probably the best Mewtwo card we've had in a while. Got a nice sparkle effect on it too. Let's move on to number 4. Good old Leafeon. So I don't really like the Leafeon VMAX too much from Evolving Skies, believe it or not. I was kind of disappointed with it, but For some reason, this Leafeon V-Star here just really kind of tickles my fancy. I love how it's in some sort of like, I don't even know what you call it, like indoor garden type place. It's kind of hanging out. It's got its tail in the water there, purifying the water. That's kind of neat. It just looks really kind of chill and peaceful. Kind of reminds me of my mom's dog actually for some reason. I don't know why. But I just love the naturey environment that's got going on here. Just really cool greenhouse aesthetic. And it's just nice to see Leafeon get a really cool card. I feel like sometimes Leafeon is the evolution that gets left out a lot. But here it really gets some justice, I think. Moving on to number 3. Oh yeah, we got Suicune V here. Always been one of my favorite Pokemon, my favorite of the 3 legendary dogs, as we call them if you grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. I know that they're really called beasts now, but they'll always be the dogs to me. And I mean, he looks like a dog there. Doesn't look like a cat. Anyways, love this card. You got the snowy landscape, the night sky, you got a bunch of shooting stars going on, snowy mountains all around, and Suicune's just trotting through it, thinking about life, looking very determined. Probably the best card we've ever had of this Pokemon. Hands down. Moving on to number 2. Wait a second, this is number 2. What's number 1? Well, you'll find out. But anyways, let's take a look here. We got Giratina V-Star. Of course, it's one of the gold god Pokemon. Out of the 4, this is probably my favorite. I know it's a lot of other people's favorites too, so I'm not really being creative or having a very different opinion here, but I love the gold aesthetic. And just like the background just captures sort of that underworld that Giratina lives in. It just looks super cool and just very otherworldly. Of course, it's in the origin form and it's slithering along like a snake, kind of like a god of the underworld type thing. And I don't even know what all this stream of stuff is, but just you can just kind of stare at this card and look at it for a while, and you'll always see something very strange there, something different all the time. And of course, you put the 4 god cards together, it's a beautiful scene. I think it'd be fun to put those in a frame someday. But always have loved this card. Now, if you've seen my other top 10 video about my top 10 Sword and Shield cards, this shouldn't come as much of a surprise. But yeah, I love the Mew. I mean, it's just so cool. It's just sleeping here. It's got part of a fruit that it was eating. It's just taking a nap, and all the other Pokemon are showing up, and they're like, what on earth? There's this god Pokemon just taking a sleep here, and they're all just shocked and in awe that Mew's just casually hanging out. And that's just kind of the Pokemon Mew is. You know, Mew just kind of does whatever it feels like doing. Lives a simple life, flies around, eats some food, plays around a little bit. It's like it doesn't even realize how powerful it is sometimes. But I don't know, this is just such a great card. I love all the different Pokemon in it and whatnot. And Mew's always been one of my favorite Pokemon. So this takes the top slot for me. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.